如果你有聖經咧，請你翻開加拉太書。
If you have the Bible, please open to the book of Galatians.
我哋第3個星期，我哋會研讀加拉太書，我哋已經去到第2章。
We have 3 weeks to study the book of Galatians, and right now we're on chapter 2.
我估大家對呢一樣嘢咧唔陌生。
No, you're not staying with these things.
好，每一日都需要。
We need it every day.
或者你覺得呢樣嘢對你嚟講重唔重要咧？
Is that important to you?
喺平常嘅日子，我哋覺得只係一卷廁紙。
In ordinary life, we just think it's just
一卷好普通嘅廁紙。
Just ordinary tissue paper.
但係我哋要留意咧，喺呢一個 pandemic 一開始嘅時候咧，呢卷嘅廁紙咧係升價10，都唔止10倍啊，搶購㗎。
So you remember when at the early stage of the pandemic, lots of people is trying to get those toilet paper.
平時嘅時候唔覺得咁重要。
Most of the time we don't think it's important.
即係突然之間有事嚟到嘅時候咧，呢一卷嘅廁紙突然之間覺得好緊要。
Well, just when something happened, we all just realize this is a very important. Toilet paper is a very important item in your life.
弟兄姊妹，你發唔發覺呢卷廁紙好重要啊？
Brothers and sisters, do you think the toilet paper is very important for us?
你屋企仲有冇啊？
Do you still have stock in the home?
可能又嚟第2波啊！你屋企儲定一啲未啊？
Wow, the second wave is coming. It's coming. If you stock up again.
我今日咪同大家講廁紙啊。
Today I'm not talking about toilet paper.
但係當中俾我諗到一樣嘢。
But from it, we can think of something.
福音
Gospel.
一個好嘅消息。
A good news.
喺平常嘅日子嘅時候，我哋同人講我哋有咩好消息啊，有永生嘅確據啊，嗰啲人可能覺得冇乜嘢嘅。
Well, in the ordinary life, and when there's a good news, and this is some information you should have, and people don't realize the importance.
但係當突然之間嘅疫情嚟到嘅時候，好多人嘅心裏邊嘅時候，係咪末世啊？係咪我哋要準備檢查啊？我哋點樣啊？將來會點啊？可能突然之間好多嘅憂慮充滿我哋嘅內心，或者充滿我哋前路，我哋唔知道前面應該點，所以福音更加對佢哋喺疫情當中嘅需要。
That's when the pandemic comes, people start to scare. It's at the end of the world, and then now it show the importance in gospel. It's when there's crisis like pandemic.
可能弟兄姊妹，今日我哋覺得人冇時間冇心情去聽福音，唔係嘅，而家好多人更加去想得閒喺屋企嘅時候，左抄右抄緊關於末世嘅嘢去研究。
So maybe while you think this is people have think it's not the right moment to study, but actually lots of people when they have because they have time at home, they have time to study about the end of the world.
弟兄姊妹，你有冇睇到現今係一個最好嘅時候去將福音、將個好嘅消息去傳開？
Do you realize it's the good opportunity that to spread the good news?
我想到耶穌講過一句説話，佢話：看見嘅人用不着醫生，有病嘅人才用得着。
Jesus has said that it is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick.
弟兄姊妹，今日人面對憂慮嘅時候，我哋需要嘅係揾到平安嘅福音。
When people are worried, people try to find the news of the gospel news of peace.
當我哋研究到加太書第2章嘅時候，保羅亦都同時俾一啲嘅事情困擾住。
When we studying the chapter 2 of book of Galatians, we can realize that Paul was worried by something.
保羅喺當時嘅時候，當佢好踴躍、好成功嘅傳福音嘅時候，突然之間有一班信咗主嘅猶太背景嘅人，被割禮嘅問題，去將保羅去再成為佢嘅困惑。
So when Paul was spreading the gospel successfully, but then there is some Israelite that is questioning about the circumcision.
所以你會睇到加太書嘅時候，割禮成為整本加太書嘅裏邊其中一個討論嘅題目。
So you can realize in the book of Galatians that circumcision is an important topic.
呢一個嘅情況正好喺《使徒行傳》嘅第15章裏邊嘅時候，因為呢一班嘅人覺得信咗主，佢仍然需要持守割禮，所以佢哋喺耶路撒冷裏邊開咗當時第一個嘅會議，叫耶路撒冷大會。
So from the book of Acts 15, because there are people that thinking about talking about discussing about the circumcision. That's the reason they opened a meeting in Jerusalem.
佢哋係講到話，如果我哋唔按摩西嘅規矩做割禮，就不能得救。
They said, unless you are circumcised according to the custom teach by Moses, otherwise, and you cannot be saved.
所以喺加拉太書嘅保羅其實係引用緊15章嘅使徒行傳15章裏邊呢一個嘅背景。
So Paul in the book of Galatians is related to the background of Acts 15.
使徒行傳第2章第4、第5節咁話，因為有偷着引進來嘅假弟兄，只係窺探我們在基督耶穌裏嘅自由啊，要叫我們作奴僕。我們就是一刻嘅功夫，也沒有容讓順服他們，為要叫福音嘅真理仍存在你們中間。
So Acts 15, 4 to 5, this matter arose because some false brother had infiltrated our ranks to spy on the freedom we have in Jesus Christ and to make us slaves. We did not give in to them for a moment, so that the truth of the gospel may remain with you.
呢一度講到一個割禮嘅問題。
Here talk about the circumcision.
呢班嘅人佢哋雖然信咗主，
Although there's the good people believe
但係
in
仍然帶
Christ,
着好深厚嘅猶太教嘅色彩。
they still carry the culture of Jewish.
Judaism 佢哋會猶太教嘅裏邊，佢哋會用守律法、行割禮呢啲人為嘅行徑，代表自己係屬神嘅子民。
So under the belief of Judaism, they still believe the good thing or the effort by human. So they have to follow the circumcision.
所以佢哋雖然信咗主，但係希望信主嘅人咧，亦都要守割禮，因為呢一個佢哋覺得呢個好重要。
So even though they believe, even the people believe in Christ, they still need to follow the circumcision because this is a very important part of their life.
但係保羅講到嘅時候，耶穌已經嚟到釋放我哋，我哋信主嘅時候係靠信心，係神嘅恩典。
So Paul mentioned that it is by grace that we are saved.
所以如果我哋再靠翻人嘅行為，我哋要靠守律法，我哋要靠行割禮先至代表我哋得救嘅時候，呢個同耶穌嘅救贖完全係倒波相向。
So the salvation still depends on the our behavior, and good thing. Then this is against that what they teach by Christ.
加拉太書第2章第1到第10節嘅保羅面對一種咁樣嘅情況。作為一個福音嘅使者，佢要點樣去面對
？So in chapter 2, when Paul was from chapter 2 of the book of Galatians, that we see Paul is facing the challenge.
今日我哋每一個都係一個福音嘅使者，我哋都面對好多唔同嘅言論，好多嘅挑戰。我哋點樣持守？我哋點樣持守成為一個好嘅福音使者，回應呢個時代
？So as a gospel that ambassador that as a gospel ambassador, so what we should do when we are facing the same kind of challenge that people challenge our belief.
嗱，我哋喺呢一度嘅時候，保羅有4個好緊要嘅原則，佢用咗出嚟。
So here Paul has mentioned 4 important principles that we should follow, that we can for reference.
你留意喺第5節。
We pay attention to verse 5.
第5節保羅話：我們就是一刻的功夫，也沒有容讓順服他們。
Verse 5 says, we did not give to them for a moment, so that the truth of gospel may remain with you.
第一方面嘅時候，保羅要好緊守，唔好俾對方有機會去影響咗純正嘅信仰。
So Paul has to hold firm, so that it's not impacted by the others.
中文聖經譯得十分好，佢話一刻嘅功夫都唔俾啊。
So in Chinese translation, that means there's not even a moment they give.
我連一個機會俾你都唔俾。
There's no chance. We don't give any chance to people to attack.
一個機會讓自己軟弱，一個機會讓自己倒退，讓一個機會俾惡者有攻擊嘅機會都唔俾。
We don't give any chance to the devil to attack us, so that or let us be we. There's
嗱，
no
呢
chance.
個就係值得我哋留意啦。好多時我哋嘅態度咩？遲啲先啦，冇所謂啦，我哋就俾對方有一個機會去攻擊自己。
But it's very different than what the most of us that usually just it's okay or never mind.
可能你話
Do it later.
可能你話，哎呀，好多試探我哋逃避唔到。
You may say that there's a lot of temptation
呢
we
個社會
cannot
充滿
avoid.
好多嘅罪惡。
The world is still full of sins.
有人咁樣講佢嘅説話好有意思。
Someone said that. It's very meaningful.
今日我哋唔可以阻止一隻雀仔喺我哋頭上飛過，但我哋可以阻止啲嘅雀仔唔喺我哋頭上築巢。
He said you can't prevent birds of sorrow flying over your head.
今日我哋好多嘅畫面，好多嘅媒體會俾好多嘅唔好嘅意識我哋，但係唔好讓呢啲嘅意識存留喺你嘅內心。
So there's a lot of media or channel that give us wrong thinking, but don't let all this wrong message keep in our heart.
好多時撒旦會講神未必咁講嘅，
So Satan may say that, no, that's not what
未
God
必
has
唔
said.
好嘅。
It may not be a good
但
thing.
你認識創世記嘅時候，你就知道阿蛇咧就最中意用呢啲方法。
When you look at the Genesis, you know that the snake use lots of this
佢
technique.
會用呢啲嘅神未必係咁講嘅，可能唔係嘅，或甚至你話神唔想你嘅光明過去啊，聰明過去。
So the snake said, this is not what exactly the God said. God just don't want you to be clever.
今日有好多時我想傳福音，
All the time we want to spread the gospel.
但好多時亦都會突然之間有一啲好負面嘅影響。
Also, but at the same time, we may have some negative thinking.
唔俾一刻嘅機會。
We don't give a chance to those negative.
保羅喺第5節跟住講，
And Paul keeps
佢
on
話
saying,
要叫福音的真理仍存在你們中間。
he said, the truth of the gospel may remain in you with you.
一方面唔俾機會入侵，另一方面喺真理上邊扎根。
So we do give chance to the attack. At the same time, we build the root.
弟兄姊妹，今日有好多假嘅錯誤、似是而非嘅道理，你識唔識去分辨？
There's a lot of false message we have right now. Do you want to know how to separate them or realize them?
弟兄姊妹越近末世，越難去分辨。
And it's get closer to the end of the world. It's really hard to identify what's the false message.
因為馬太福音裏邊講到末世嘅時候，有一個情景，若是能行，弟兄也被迷惑。If possible, even though deceive all the Christians, all the Bible。弟兄姊妹，我哋要好清楚我哋信嘅乜嘢。
Brothers and sisters, we need to really clearly understand what we believe.
乜嘢叫純正嘅福音？
What is a pure gospel?
喺呢度我好難全部講晒俾大家去解，但係我希望你記住3段嘅經文。
So we want brothers and sisters to remember 3 passages from the Bible.
使徒行傳第4章第12節講到話，除他以外別無拯救。
So Acts 4:12 said, salvation is found in no one else.
耶穌係唯一拯救嘅途徑。
No other.
Jesus is the only way for the salvation。第二，我哋留意以弗所書嘅第2章。
We also pay attention to Ephesians chapter 2.
第8節裏邊話：你們得救係本乎恩，也因着信。
For it is by grace you have been saved.
聖經裏邊好清楚嘅時候，救恩係一個白白嘅恩典，透過信心，唔係透過行為。
So, but Bible we see that it is the salvation is by grace, not by behavior.
所以一切嘅行為唔係我哋能夠得到救恩嘅途徑。
So the behavior is not the way or the mean that we can get salvation.
今日我哋要好小心。
We have to be
曾經有
careful.
啲喺校園裏邊嘅異端嘅時候，佢講到救恩好啊，我哋信耶穌，但係你要受浸。
So they are counting the school or college that, oh yeah, salvation is good, but you have to be baptized.
牧師受浸唔啱咩？我受浸啱。
So what's wrong with the baptism?
但係受浸係一個將信心嘅表達，唔係得救嘅確據啊嘛。 唔係得救嘅條件嚟㗎嘛。
Baptism is not a mean to the salvation, but it is the reflect of your
啲
salvation.
異端嘅時候，佢話受浸啊，你一定要喺佢哋嘅團體裏邊受浸啊，
And the cult said that you have to be baptized within that group.
明嗎？咁即係以前嗰使徒行傳嗰啲人受浸唔係喺個團體喎，咁佢哋唔得救啊？
So
Đúng rồi
does
đó.
that mean we can see from the book of Acts that the people
十字架
baptized?
旁嗰兩個人咧，耶穌話：今天同你樂園咯。耶穌講到明佢去樂園喎，你都話佢唔得救，
So when
佢冇受浸嘅喎。
so when Christ was on the cross, the two next to him, the one next to him is safe, but he was not baptized.
我哋當然我哋鼓勵人受浸，但係受浸係一個信心、一個見證，唔係一個換取救恩嘅條件。
Of course, we encourage you to baptize, but realize that this is a reflection of your belief, and it is not a mean to get
希伯
salvation.
來書嘅第9章，
In the book of Hebrews, chapter 9,
佢講到耶穌基督一次嘅獻上成為永遠贖罪嘅根源。
he said, "So Christ was sacrificed once to take away the sins of many people."
弟兄姊妹，耶穌死一次就夠㗎啦，
So, brothers and sisters, Jesus only need to die once.
明嗎？我哋信咗耶穌，我哋就永遠喺神嘅兒女。
So once we believe, we are always the children of God.
弟兄姊妹，今日撒旦會攻擊我哋。
Brothers and sisters, today,
特別你越有心去傳福音，撒旦會攻擊。
when we try to spread the gospel,
佢會點
Satan
攻擊我
start
哋
to attack.
可能佢會同你自己內心裏邊，當我哋傳福音嘅時候，佢話：哎呀，我嘅，
Tell you, oh, when you try to spread the
你冇覺
gospel,
得
say
你
you
自己唔
can't.
得？或者我哋會覺得突然之間有一個嘅諗法嘅時候，哎呀，我都未做好，
Or we may think that we are not good enough yet.
你又扣翻行為啦。
Why will you try to
或
rely
者我
on
哋
that
唔識
behavior?，
其實你咪唔識喎。
Or they will say, I don't know.
你聽咗一年聽52堂道，你坐咗幾年嘅時候，你一聽就百幾堂道噶咯。
So we have listened to at least 52 sermons each year,
可
and
能你話唔係我唔得，係佢哋唔信嘅，你點知啊？
or is it they're not uncapable? It's just they won't
冇
accept
人
anyway.
講冇人傳，梗係唔信啦。
Well, how you know? Because we don't tell them.
可能
How
話
they
佢哋
will
信，不過佢哋
know?
翻唔到教會。
They will believe, but they won't
佢信
able
咗
to
主，
come.
生命改變，佢自然會翻教會噶啦。
So when they believe and the life
或
change,
者
they
你有
will
好多
come.
嘅原因攔咗你自己嘅傳福音。
There will be other reason that's blocking you to spread the gospel.
保羅都有。
Paul had the same challenge.
當時一班咁嘅人，甚至話保羅你唔啱，你唔應該咁樣傳。上到去耶路撒冷大會，要揾彼得、揾雅各，佢哋嚟批鬥你。
So even Paul, the people challenge that, oh, you should not spread the gospel like that. And I'm going to ask Peter and James to challenge you too.
咁又可能我哋都會面對呢啲情況。
Well, nowadays we still face the same issue.
你想傳福音，可能有人話你唔啱，你唔得，你點，你要點。
So when you try to spread the gospel, people tell you, oh, you can do that, but
可能會攔咗你，可能會攔咗你。
that people will try to stop you.
保羅有一個觀念，
But Paul have a belief.
持守真正嘅福音，不讓福音有偏差嘅機會。
For believe, keep the gospel. Don't give a moment to fall from the gospel.
持守你所信嘅福音，
And keep firm of your belief.
你係屬於神，
And you believe to Christ.
你認定耶穌係你嘅救主，
And you believe to Christ your
你
Savior.
認定你嘅救恩係憑信心，係神白白嘅恩典，
And you confirm that it says your
唔
salvation is
係
by
因
grace, not by
為你嘅
behavior.
功德。
It's not by the thing of your good thing.
無論你將來點樣軟弱，你永遠係神嘅兒女。
Doesn't matter how weak you are, but you are always the
話俾隔離嗰個聽，
God's children.
如果你係咁樣信，
Tell to the next one
無論
that
你點軟弱，
is that you truly believe, no
你
matter
都
how
係神
weak
嘅
you
兒
are,
女。
you are still the children of God.
話俾隔離聽，
Yeah, tell you the next one. The one next to you.
唔好被福音 俾惡者有機會攻擊你自己。
Don't give any chance for the devil one to attack you.
加拉太書第2章講咗一件事。
So, chapter 2 of book of Galatians mentioned one thing.
佢話：我是奉啟示上去的，那我在外邦人中所傳嘅福音對弟兄們陳説，卻是背地裏對那有名望之人說的，唯恐我現在或是從前徒然奔跑。
Verses 2 said, I went in response to a revelation and set before them the gospel that I preach among the Gentiles. But I did this privately to those who seem to be leaders, for fear that I'm running or have run my race in vain.
保羅喺呢一度嘅時候講咗，當時去上耶路撒冷嘅時候有兩個嘅情景。
There's a two situation that Paul mentioned when was in Jerusalem.
但一個係公開嘅，係向所有嘅人去表達佢自己嘅信仰，去點樣帶領外邦人去得救。
One meeting with all the public, so to tell everyone what his belief.
但係你會睇到嘅時候，保羅亦都要講咗一樣嘅，喺背地裏嘅時候咧，佢是背地裏對你有名望嘅人説，原來咧喺之前嘅時候，好有可能咧，保羅就同一班當時嘅領袖，嗱，我哋開會之前，你講一講你嘅情況俾我知道嘅時候，好唔好？咁呢一個好正常嘅情況，保羅喺呢度講。
Paul just said, I did it privately to those who seem to be the leader. That means there's a private meeting with the leader to explain his understanding.
但你唔好忘記咧，當時保羅啊係因為人哋指控，所以佢要上耶路撒冷。佢第一樣嘅時候，私底下去見一班嘅領袖。
So we understand the background that Paul is under charge at that time. So he.
嗱，如果係你同我嘅時候咧，我哋咧喺當時嘅情況，我哋只可以咁樣形容自己就係一個 small potato 嘅。
So we are in that situation, we may only describe ourselves as a small potato.
哇！嗰啲係屬靈領袖啊。
But they are spiritual leaders.
嗱，佢好容易嘅時候咧，佢哋講乜你就會 say yes。
So at that time, whatever the leader said, that I will follow.
因為嗰度好容易被呢啲嘅權力會影響咗佢哋嗰個信仰或者佢所持守嘅嘢。
So it's easy that authority has affect your belief.
嗱，啲好容易嘅情況。
It's very simple. The case.
嗱，我哋會睇翻嘅時候，上個星期我同大家講過，原來咧而家天主教喺香港嘅宗教嘅教育裏邊咧，去將個信仰講到咧，原來岳飛都被呼召。
So the cases in Hong Kong that the Catholic Church mentioned that there's some Chinese
傳揚中國文化。
Asian hero was Christian too.
香港嘅天主教嗰個嘅，如果冇記錯，湯漢佢都寫信咗俾各堂區嘅時候，嗱，唔好盡量唔好講政治啊，唔好講宗教啊。
So also the leader of the Catholic churches in Hong Kong is sent a letter.
點解會咁做？
As the church don't talk about.
梗係有權位嘅人壓制意志，影響咗對福音嘅純正嘅信仰嘅傳講。
Also, there should be some authority above that is putting pressure on the church to affect the way, the truth.
唔好忽略咗權力。
Brothers and sisters, don't look down upon the authority.
保羅喺第6節話：至於那些有名望的人，不論他是何等人，都與我無干。
And God said, God doesn't judge by external appearance. Those men add nothing to my message.
保羅要傳揚純正嘅福音，佢有一個嘅原則就係，無論你係邊個，乜嘢權位，唔可以取代咗神重要嘅地位。
In Paul's mind, that doesn't matter what authority or power you have.
如果你係某某嘅政治嘅人物，我哋唔係話唔尊重啊，不過我哋因為佢嘅權力。我哋扭曲咗信仰，呢個好可惜啊。
It's not that means we don't really respect the authority, but because of the authority, we treat
有一次喺 Facebook 我睇咗一個嘅短片。
I was watch a video in YouTube.
嗰個直情係一個 video，錄咗好短。
It's a short video.
佢錄咗一個喺 中國內地一個敬拜嘅片段。
There's a video about worship in a church in mainland China.
應該個 setting係似天主教教堂。
It's the background or the setting symbolized is a Catholic church.
負責主禮嘅人嘅領袖，
And the leader there,
佢咁樣講：
he said,
習近平係我嘅山寨，係我嘅盾牌。
that the leader, Chairman Zhao, is my shield, is my fortress. Brother and sister.
點解啲宗教領袖佢哋咪唔識聖經啊？
Wow, do you think the spiritual leader doesn't understand the Bible?
政治影響咗，政治影響咗，以致佢將神擺咗次要嘅地位，而其他嘅領袖高高在上。
So that the reason should be that the political
弟
pressure.
兄姊妹，今日邊個係你嘅山寨？邊個係你嘅盾牌？
Brother, sister, who is your fortune? Who is your shield?
如果你認定神係你嘅山寨，係你嘅盾牌，我哋就唔好讓其他嘅人取代咗神嘅地位。如果呢個係你嘅身份，就冇任何人可以攞走你嘅信仰。
You affirm that God is your fortress and your shield. There's no way, no one can replace your God and take out.
保
your
羅喺呢一度表達咗一樣嘢，
The Paul expressed something here.
佢話神不以外貌取人。
They say God does not judge by external appearance.
無論你係乜嘢權位、乜嘢背景嘅人，
It doesn't matter what's your background or what power you
你同
have.
我都係平等。
We all the same, the equal.
如果你同我都係分享咗神嘅話語，我哋彼此要尊重。
When we all believe the same God, then we should respect ourselves.
但係
Which
如
one?
果你因為你嘅權、你嘅勢取代咗神嘅地位，我哋要警醒。
So someone is replaced God by some authority and pressure, then we have
因
to pay
為
attention to that.
我哋所信嘅主，係睇每一個人同樣重要。
Because the God we believe is see everyone is the same, but is equal. It's same important.
你翻嚟敬拜好重要，你 online 敬拜一樣咁重要。
Everything important. Doesn't matter you worship in the church or worship online.
你有奉獻好重要，你冇奉獻都好重要。
Doesn't matter you have offering or you don't have offering. It's the same.
你奉獻
It's
多
more
奉獻
important.
少，耶穌嘅眼中你出於真心就好寶貴。
It doesn't matter how much you offer. As far you're from your true heart, then Christ will place it.
喺耶穌侍奉嘅歷程，
And in the journey of your serving,
一個行淫時被拿嘅婦人，
there was something in adultery and was caught when he's
當時嘅人只係利用佢作告耶穌嘅把柄。
so people just use her to attack Jesus.
當嗰個人離開嘅時候，耶穌同呢個女人講：
So even leave and Jesus talked to that woman.
我也不定你嘅罪，去吧，從此不要再犯罪。
Jesus declared, go now and live your life of sin. And he said,
弟兄姊妹，
brother and sister.
當時大麻風係一啲不潔傳染病。
So at that time, the leprosy is no way to heal and it spread quickly.
耶穌見到大麻風，
Jesus saw the
耶穌
leprosy.
動了慈心，就伸手摸他說：我肯，你潔淨了吧。
And Jesus said, if you are willing, you can make.
無論邊一個嚟到耶穌嘅面前，耶穌都去接納。
And it doesn't matter who come in front of Jesus, Jesus will accept.
因為點解？
Why?
耶穌喺路加福音裏邊講， 主嘅靈在我身上，因為他用高我，叫我傳福音給貧窮嘅人，差遣我報告被擄的得釋放，瞎眼得看見，要叫受壓制的得自由，報告神悅納人嘅喜悅。
Luke 4:18 to 19 said, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me because He was anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight of the blind, to release the oppressed, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor."
弟兄姊妹，當我哋要傳福音嘅時候，我第一個嘅原則，我哋要持守嘅，我哋要持守純正嘅福音，我哋唔容讓有一刻嘅機會有偏差。
So when we try to spread the gospel, we have to hold firm of the pure gospel, and we don't have any bias.
保羅亦都提醒我哋要持守神自己嘅本性，神係咩啊？不偏待人。
And we also need to keep the career of God, that God would not have favoritism.
所以你每一個人接觸喺你嘅身旁都係好重要。
So that means everyone that we contact is of the same importance.
跟住我哋再睇嘅時候，保羅表達咗佢自己嘅對福音嘅心態。
So Paul also mentioned in the passage about.
嗱，我哋一齊讀第7、第8節。
We read together verses 7 and 8.
嗱，第7一齊好冇？1、2、3。反倒看見了主託我傳福音給那些未受割禮的人，正如託彼得傳福音給那些受割禮的人。嗱，感動彼得叫他受割禮之人作使徒的，也感動我，叫我為外邦人作使徒。嗱，保羅喺呢一度講咗幾個嘅心態出嚟。
Paul mentioned here several attitudes here.
第一個心態嘅時候，保羅認定咧，主將福音託付俾佢，同樣好似佢將福音託付咗彼得一樣。
So the first thing is he believed God entrusts the gospel to him, and also
呢一個聖經用一個託付呢個字 entrust。
The Bible used the word entrust.
呢個係對你一種嘅信任。
Is something
背後帶咗一種嘅使命。
Also, there's a passage.
受託啊。
It's
entrust。受託，因為佢信得過你。
Because God believes in you.
佢覺得你可以。
He thinks you can.
佢覺得你能夠完成。
佢 can complete.
就將我呢個咁重要嘅嘢交俾你。
And such that he entrusts you with such an important action. 雖
然以前保羅係反對耶穌，係逼迫耶穌。
Although Paul was against the Lord in the past.
但係神竟然去將呢一個咁重要嘅好消息嘅託付 entrust 咗俾保羅。
But God still entrusts the gospel to Paul.
阿子咁。
Not such that.
保羅喺當中，佢講咗一樣嘢。
Paul also mentioned something.
佢話：我傳福音俾未受割禮嘅人。
And he said that he's preaching the gospel to the Gentiles.
好似彼得傳福音俾猶太人一樣。
Similar to what Peter spread the gospel to the one who.
保羅好清楚嘅時候，冇錯，彼得你有彼得嘅託付，我有我嘅託付，你有你嘅有嘅目標，我有我嘅目標。
Because we see that God has entrusted something to me, and also has entrusted something to Peter.
原來每一個嘅人，神都有一個嘅目標俾你啊。
And everyone has
係特別俾你先能夠可以完成。
So everyone God has assigned a direction to different one, and even though they're different, and only you can complete it. Paul is very clear with that.
繼續，佢話正如託付彼得傳福音給那受割禮嘅人，原來每一個人神都有福音嘅目標俾你。
And Paul said, just as Peter had.
Just as Peter have been
to the Jews.
Everybody have your task. 你知嘛？但呢個係保羅傳福音嘅心態。
And this is what Paul believed in this.
呢個心態係乜嘢咧？ 主託付我，
The first one is that God
主有
entrusts.
一個嘅目標俾咗我，
God has set a
每一
task
個
for
人
us.
都有， 包
Everyone
括
has his own
你同
task,
我，
including you and me.
明嗎？弟兄姊妹，可能今日你話我唔係保羅啊，我冇託付啊，
Brothers say, "Oh, not Paul. No, God
Right.
didn't entrust anything to me."
馬太福音點講啊？
But what Book of Matthew said,
耶穌話：你哋要去啊嘛，使萬民作我嘅門徒啊嘛。
Jesus said, "Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations."
可能你今日話我唔知神俾我咩計劃。
You may say that I don't know God's plan.
如果你咁樣同保羅講，保羅即刻話俾你聽，無論得時不得時啊，
If you Paul tell you that,
你知唔知啊？你都要去噶啦。
prepare in season and out of season.
可能你當傳言嘅時候，嗰人信咗主，你咪知道呢個係你嘅目標咯。
So you don't know, you still need to go.
可能你話我又唔係某某報道家，我又唔係保羅。
I'm not a preacher like evangelist like Paul.
我又冇翻過咁多咩訓練班。
I don't have much training.
你記唔記得喺馬可福音第5章嗰個格拉森被鬼附人？
So do you remember in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, about the Galatians?
嗰被鬼附嘅人，當佢啲鬼趕走嘅時候，佢要話跟耶穌。
When he was possessed by the demon, he wanted to follow Jesus.
耶穌話：你冇，
Jesus saying, "You know,
你嘅目標就係咩？
your task is to go
翻返
further,
去，
back to
喺
your home.
你身上做乜嘢，同人分享就得啦。
You just need to share what I have done to you."
聖經話：那人就走了，在底加波利傳揚耶穌為他作了何等大嘅事，眾人就稀奇。
So the man went away and began to tell in disciples how much Jesus have done for him, and all the
佢冇
people
參
are
加一個
amazed.
嘅報道訓練，
He never was trained for as an
但
evangelist.
佢只係將神喺佢身上所做嘅奇妙嘅恩典分享出嚟。
You just need to tell the people how much God have done for him,
弟兄姊妹，
brothers and sisters.
保羅佢傳福音有一個好清楚嘅心態，係主託付，有閃，有佢嘅責任，有佢嘅目標，個個人都有。
So Paul has a very clear attitude that everyone is entrusted by
呢個
God to
應該
do
都係你
the
同我嘅
task,
心
and everyone
態。
has a task. And is that the same attitude you have,
弟兄姊妹，
brothers and sisters?
今日神俾一啲嘅朋友你，俾你一個咁樣嘅家族，俾你住喺一個咁樣嘅社區，神有佢嘅託付，有一啲嘅嘢 entrust 俾我哋。
So, brothers and sisters, right now, God has put you in among all the friends, family, and community. There's something in the task that God has entrusted to you.
作為一個福音嘅使者，我哋有主俾我哋嘅大使命，從此幫助我哋完成呢個託付。
As a gospel missionary, that keep the mission and complete the task
弟
of
兄姊
gospel.
妹，下個禮拜日下午2點半，我哋會有一個福音嘅電影嘅欣賞。
So, brothers and sisters, next Sunday afternoon, 2:30 p.m., we have movie sharing, a gospel movie sharing.
青年人因着佢信咗耶穌，生命嘅改變，接納一啲以前接納唔到嘅事情。
A young guy is accepted Christ and he is transformed
經歷神嘅祝福，
so he can accept something that he never able to
佢
accept
生
and
命
he
去
can
祝福
get the
更多
blessing.
嘅人。
So he can spread his blessing to more people.
我希望今日可以預備到嘅 invitation send 俾大家。弟兄姊妹，唔單止你嚟 forward 開去，
Today I may be able to send an invitation to you and please share the
雖然今日
the
可
link
能
to
唔
other
容易，大
persons.
家面對面見，但可能今日透過網絡有更多福音嘅機會。
Now it's hard that we may not able to see face to face, but through the internet that we may able to get more opportunity to spread the
堅守
gospel.
福音嘅使命，完成神喺你我身上嘅託付。
give the mission and complete the task of gospel that God has
一
entrusted
個
in
英
us.
文嘅電影有中文嘅字幕，
It's a movie in English, but they are Chinese caption.
套電影大約2個鐘，不過我唔可以喺呢一度播，因為個網絡未必最好。我希望喺屋企播個網絡好啲。
The movie is 2 hours. So,
我邀請你，
Francis, I invite you.
我會 send 一個 invitation，
I will send an invitation.
你試下 forward 翻去。
Just share the invitation to others.
你唔單止你嚟，你自己會邀請朋友嚟。
Not just you will come, you also need to invite your friends to come.
我第一次睇，
I saw the first
我
time.
好攰，
I was so tired at that time.
對唔住，我睇下瞓着咗。
I sleep when I was watching it.
但係當我醒咗嘅時候，
When I woke up,
阿 Jonathan 話俾我聽，
Jonathan told me
好 touch，
the movie is be touching.
佢喊。
He cried.
我尋日自己坐低，乖乖地對住個睇一次。
So I sit down
我明白
again
佢講
and
乜
watch
嘢
the movie.
我都想喊。
I understand why what Jonathan feel because I would cry too.
Jonathan 話呢套戲應該有5 star 嘅，去俾嘅。
Jonathan said that movie should have 5 stars.
弟兄姊妹，如果你將呢套戲嘅邀請 forward 開去，人透過呢套戲認識到福音，你 got 5 star。
So if you share
You know what I mean？
share the invitation to others and someone believe it, that you got 5 stars too.
主俾你俾我，要一齊喺呢個時代完成佢交付嘅使命。
So God has asked us to complete the mission that He has entrusted us.
但係如果你繼續睇呢段經文嘅時候咧，有一度咧好特別嘅形容。
When you continue to look at the passage, there is some interesting description.
喺第9節咁樣講話，又知道所賜給我的恩典，那稱為教會嘅柱石的雅各、基法即係彼得啦、約翰，就向我和巴拿巴用右手行相交之禮，叫我們往外邦人去，哪裏去？他們往受割禮的人那裏去。
Verse 9 said, James, Peter, and John, those reputed to be pillars, gave me and Barnabas the right hand of fellowship.
嗱，聖經咧特別用一句叫做嘅 right hand fellowship， 右手行相交之禮。
The Bible said the right hand of fellowship.
可能你會諗到呢一個咧，就只係握手咁簡單。
It's saying, oh, just shake the hand.
代
Just
表
simple.
咧，即係好似我哋由細到大握手做個好朋友啊。
Just simply handshaking.
呢個咧好似一個好現今嘅人覺得好普通、好活天或者好隨意嘅一個嘅動作。
Nowadays, people think, oh, this is just very routine or simple action.
點解保羅要喺呢一度特別強調嘅時候？因為呢一個右手行相交之禮係代表背後有一啲嘅意義。
Paul mentioned here because the right hand of fellowship has a special meaning.
呢個代表有一種嘅承諾，有一種嘅認同，有一種認可，有一種印證，有一種信任，有一種友誼。
It means a commitment, recognition,
哇！原
affirmation,
來
trust
握
and
手啊，
follow.
真係唔單止做朋友，係咁深意義。
Wow, it's not just friend. There's a very
我
deep
同你握
meaning there.
手，我同你握手，
I shake hand with you.
即係代表我認同你噶。
That means I recognize.
我同你握手，
I shake hand with you.
即係代表嘅時候咧，我對你有 commitment。
That means I have commitment with
點
you.
解我同你握手？即係代表我哋一個印證嚟嘅。
Or I shake your hand because there's an
我
affirmation.
肯同你握手，因為代表阿爺。不過而家就真係因為疫情唔敢握手啦，東爭嘅啫，係咪？
I shake your hand because it's a fellowship. Right now, but because of the pandemic, right now we can handshake, just use the elbow.
弟兄姊妹，你唔好講咁簡單，只係相交。
But I said, don't say it's just simply a fellowship.
原來呢個相交嘅情況或者儀式一個表達，係代表大家對福音嘅人一種嘅接納。
But that fellowship, that means also means that they have the same burden of gospel.
你傳福音，
You spread the gospel.
我傳福音，
I also spread the
大
gospel.
家惺惺相惜， friend 嚟啊，
And we have this,
一種接納。
we set same objective, so
What
we are the
you-
fellowship.
哎呀，你翻到工廠同人講福音，感謝神。
So when,
下手先，
so when you back to your
我
workplace,
對你嘅
oh,
工作有接
you
納。
spread the gospel. I shake your hand because I accept your action.
哎呀，原來你喺工作裏邊同人有機會講福音啊！哇，呢個神嘅恩典喺嗰個人身上啊，感謝神。呢個分享包括咩啊？恩典啊！
So when you workplace, you witness God and spread the gospel. That we praise the Lord that you have the grace.
原來呢一個嘅分享背後裏邊亦都包括咩啊？彼此鼓勵行善。
So also this is encourage each other that
弟兄
to
姊
do
妹
good
相交，
fellowship.
包括認同，包括分享，包括鼓勵。
Also including recommendation, sharing, and encouragement.
弟兄姊妹，今日點解保羅睇此咁重要？睇呢一樣嘢咁緊要？
Brothers, is why Paul is see this so important.
今日我哋好容易批評任何嘢，
Right now, it's easy for us to criticize.
唔好中咗惡嘅詭計。
Don't fall into the trap of the evil ones.
耶穌話：唔攔阻我哋，唔敵咩啊？唔敵擋我哋，就係幫助我哋。
So if someone is not attending us, that is helping us.
今日好多人喺呢個城市，喺呢個 pandemic 嘅情況，仍然用各樣嘅渠道去傳福音，為佢感謝。
So even in the pandemic, that a lot of people still try to use different means and channel, praise the Lord that they still try to spread the gospel.
只要去傳純正嘅福音，我哋就認同，
As far as spreading the true
我哋
pure
就分
gospel,
享，我哋就彼此鼓勵。
we to share and encourage each other,
領袖
brothers and sisters.
今日原
Nowadays,
來喺傳福音嘅當中，我哋都需要有啲咁樣嘅相交。
so when we are spreading gospel, we need the same kind of fellowship.
保羅喺腓立比書裏邊去坐監嘅情況，
So Paul in the book of Philippians that mentioned what he was in jail.
腓立比教會嘅人講，佢話：我願意你們知道，我所遭遇嘅事，更是叫福音興旺。
So he told the people in the Philippines that now I want you to know, brother, that what has happened to me
坐
has
緊
really
監，
served to
佢
advance
戴
the
緊
gospel.
鎖鏈，
So he was in jail and is in chain too.
佢同你分享，
He still share with
你
you.
唔好擔心，
Don't worry.
神要我咁樣，
God want me like that.
要透過咁樣將福音帶過喺監獄嘅人，
I can spread the gospel even
我咪
in
叫你
jail.
犯法。
I'm not telling you that you to commit
可能
crime.
有時我哋人生遭遇一啲唔係我哋想期望嘅情況，又唔係因為我哋做錯，神有容許，可能神有一啲特別嘅開路嘅機會。放心，只有恩典。
So nowadays, maybe sometimes we experience some difficulty that we don't expect, but maybe just God that want
弟兄
to
姊妹，
tell you that He's open the door.
保羅提醒我哋好多時見面唔單止 say hi say bye，我哋更加能夠把握一個機會，彼此正向嘅鼓勵，大家喺福音事工裏邊齊心努力。
So when we see each other, just say hi and bye, but also we need to encourage each other that we have to still focus on the grace in gospel.
保羅當時因為割禮嘅問題，面對攻擊，甚至被人召去耶路撒冷大會。
So at that time, Paul was challenged because of the in the circumcision, and also need
無
to.
論面對咩攻擊，保羅有一啲嘅原則要持守。
Doesn't matter what Paul would attack, he's hold firm on some principle.
我唔容讓一刻有偏離純正嘅福音。
I took no chance to divide it from the truth.
我相信神唔偏心，
I believe God is
神要
equal
救
God.
每一個群體，包括你覺得最衰嗰個人。
So God want to want everyone, that include the one you hate most, to be saved.
神喺你我身上有要完成嘅使命。
God has some tasks in you and me that
神
He
就
wants you
係
to
要
accomplish,
託付俾你，
and He entrusts those in you.
有啲嘅嘢係俾你去做，
Something that you has to complete.
求主幫助我哋，靠住嘅恩典去完成。
So we should able to complete it in the grace of God.
好而家我哋容易啲明白 pandemic， 你屋企唔係個個入到，
So in pandemic due to pandemic, so no one can get in your home.
你嘅學校唔係個個入到，
That's not the school that not everyone
你
can
翻
get
工唔
in.
係個個入到。
So not everyone can get to the workplace that you work.
有一啲坐你側跟接觸嘅人係神俾你託付嘅人，
So the one that sits next to you is what God has entrusted you.
弟兄姊妹，如果我哋大家一齊去有心去傳福音，
We all have the same heart or mission that
就
to
讓
spread
我
the
哋
gospel.
每一次去見面嘅時候，能夠彼此嘅鼓勵，
So every time when we meet, we should have the fellowship. We should encourage each other.
你上個禮拜傳咗福音未啊？
Encourage that. Have you spread the
Yeah.
gospel last week?
唔緊要，今個禮拜一齊努力。
Not yet. No, it's okay. Then let
正向
us
嘅
try
宣
again
教。
this week.
哎呀，嗰個人你同佢傳福音，佢咁樣，哎呀，咁樣都回應你啊！唔好灰心啊！我為你祈禱，為佢祈禱。
Oh, sorry to hear that someone respond like that to you when you spread the
弟
gospel.
兄姊妹，下個星期有福音電影啊！嗱，我哋一齊約啊！啊，你入邊個，我入邊個，正向嘅相交。
And we still need to encourage each other and also send the invitation and encourage people to go to church, attend,
係作為
understand the
福
gospel.
音使者要做嘅事。
So this is what a gospel missionary had to do.
求主幫助你，幫助我。
Let God help you and me.
保羅有難處，
Paul has his own difficulties.
活喺一個唔容易嘅時代。
He live in a world that's not complicated.
我相信今日我哋亦都活喺我哋所身處一個唔容易嘅時代。
So we also have to live in a situation that's not easy for us.
福音嘅光同樣要照翻。
So the light of the gospel is still need to be shine.
求主幫助，
Let God help us.
讓我哋一齊起立。